Hi everybody, welcome to Friday Sews, May 6, 2022. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Emily, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you what I have been working on this past week. And I'm going to start by discussing this guy that's behind me, which is a bodice that's not done. Actually, it's a dress that's not done. It's the bodice for Vogue 1584. It is this dress here. It is a knit dress. It has really nice details. It has some pleats here in the front. It has some pleats here in the back. It also has this asymmetric neckline, which I thought this could be very elegant, kind of sophisticated, but no. I do want to point out that this fabric is a red Ponte knit. It is a brushed Ponte knit, slightly brushed. It was gifted to me by Minerva as part of the Minerva Makers Ambassador program. So I didn't pay for it, and it's in exchange for me to make a garment and share it with you. So yeah, so imagine I'm making this dress and it's not working, and it's for the Minerva Makes, and it's just stressful. So let me just get into what happened here. This pattern is challenging. What was challenging for me, not for everybody, but it was for me. The dress is lined, so the bodice is lined and the skirt is also lined. And there's supposed to be a zipper on the side here, which I was going to omit because my fabric is really stretchy and I didn't see the point. So I was going to use this mesh to line it, which doesn't exactly match this red, but it's what I had, and so I was going to go with it. The problem is not that it's necessarily lined, it's just how the instructions were written. And I couldn't really make sense of it, and so I tried several times. It didn't work out. Then I decided, you know what, I'm not going to use the lining. I can just totally get away with not, and then that just wasn't working. So I noticed that T from Crumpets Tea and Sewing also made this dress. She has a video. I will link it below. I don't know if she ended up making the lining the way the instructions called for, but some people I noticed on patternreviews.com, they did state that this is tricky, and that some of them actually just did it their own way. And even when I tried to do it my own way, I was like, I just can't. I got so frustrated. I did reach out to T actually, and I said, hey, do you have any advice for me? And she said, just my advice is to get rid of the pattern. I said, you're so right. So that's what I did. And you know what? This is supposed to be like, I think, beginner. Yeah, no, it says easy. No. You know, Vogue has a tendency to kind of like underestimate the difficulty of their patterns, so I'm just going to say, yeah, I don't like it. The instructions, the illustrations, they just weren't clear to me. I don't recommend this pattern for this reason. And, yeah, so what I did to salvage it, I actually did make a dress, because you saw my YouTube thumbnail that I did come up with a dress. So the thing is I had already cut out the skirt for this dress, and I had a little bit of fabric left. Luckily for me, I had Vogue 8663 in my stash. So if you look at it here, this is also a knit dress, and it has some nice detail in the bodice. So it's got these 7 darts, and there's 3 on each side, 1 in the middle, and they all kind of, the 3 in the middle converge. It makes a really nice effect. I'll put a picture in so you can see up close what that looks like. Yeah, so I had enough fabric to make a bodice, to cut a bodice out of that, and then just use the skirt out of this, from this one. And the difference, there are slight differences in the skirts. So the one from 1584 kind of hugs the body going down and then flares out. So it hugs the hips more and then flares out, whereas the one from this is like more of a true fit and flare. It will flare out from the hips. So I would have preferred this skirt, because when I have things hugging my hips, it's not very forgiving, if you know what I mean. So, but it worked out. I'm just really grateful, because I thought I just have to get a project done. What am I going to do? So I saved it. But let me talk a little bit about the overall dress. So This calls for a zipper. Well, first and foremost, it calls for two-way stretch fabric. This nice, beautiful Ponte from Minerva is actually a four-way stretch, so it stretches 60% horizontally, 25% vertically. It's also made from viscose, poly, and elastane. Super soft, really great, high quality. I love this. I'm buying more, lots more. Anyway, yeah, it calls for a zipper in the back, and the reason it calls for a zipper in the center back is because you finish the neckline and the armholes per the pattern with bias binding, which is woven, and typically that store-bought stuff is stiff. Well, I don't really like normal bias binding anyway that you get from the store. I prefer to make my own out of something lighter weight like a batiste, or better yet, a rayon. But in this case, I wanted to maintain some stretch in the neckline and the armholes, so I could omit putting a zipper in because I hate zippers. I hate putting them in. If I can avoid it, I will. So what I did is I cut some strips of some really lightweight jersey that I have that pretty much matched this fabric, actually, and it worked. And I'll put a picture in so you can see that, and I didn't have to use a zipper. I sewed this on my sewing machine using a zigzag stitch and a universal needle, I think size 80. It worked out well. I didn't even serge or the raw edges and finish the raw edges because I think with a nice quality Ponte, when you cut it, you can get a nice kind of crisp line. So I didn't even serge this fabric. It's a medium weight, so I didn't want to really add bulk. But other than that, I think I like this dress. I will say, actually I have it here. When I make it again, and I will make it again, I'm going to probably, I think you could get away with actually putting a lining in this bodice. I know sometimes you think, why would you line knit fabric? Well, because up here, it can get kind of bulky with all these darts, you know, coming up here into the neckline, and then you're binding it. It can get bulky. So I think by having a lining, you don't have as much bulk, and it will look nice in the armholes too. So I would probably try to find a nice tricot rather than this mesh stuff, and just line the bodice. No reason to add lining in the skirt. So next time I make this dress, I will try that and let you know how it goes. But this is my make. I'm gonna pop in some pictures so you can see. I will link my blog post to Minerva below so you can read more about it, see more pictures. But yeah, overall I am happy. And the next make I have for you is the So Love Patterns Whitcomb top. So this one comes in 2 lengths, so you can do the crop like I have here, which is going to be like at your natural waistline or maybe a tad bit higher, or a nice loose hem. You have the option of having 3/4 length sleeves, 3/4 length sleeves, or short like I did. Now you can use woven, which I used here, all woven. You can do it all in knit or a mix, so you can have a woven bodice fabric and then have knit on your cuffs and on the hemline. I used for this one a cotton linen that I got at Joann. I really like it, but for me this is just when I put it on, it is just too short for me, a little bit too cropped. So what I'm going to do is kind of mess with it and take out that elastic at the bottom, make my own like casing so I can accommodate a 2-inch elastic, so that's going to give me more length, and see if that works. Otherwise I will probably give it away and make it again out of something else. It's a great top, it's just I'm just not comfortable with something that short. So check out that pattern. It's been going around on Instagram a lot lately, so you've probably already seen it. I'll also link the fabric below because I really like that fabric. I think it's nice, especially for summertime. So that was my second make for this week. I did pick up a couple of patterns during the pattern sale at Joann. They've been having, we had Vogue and then Simplicity. So I have Vogue 1749, which you're like, that looks like pajamas. So it's basically You can get a jacket, a vest, which is basically just like the jacket, but it has no sleeves really, and then these pants. So I bought it not so I can make matching set, but separate. So make a jacket or I'll make the pants kind of thing. So yeah, the fabrics are crepeback sateen, rayon, challis. So yeah, I mean, if you're wearing satin, you're really gonna look like you're in pajamas. You could get away with like lightweight linnets and things like that and chambray. Yeah, challis, sateen. Yeah, if you're wearing satin, you're definitely gonna look like pajamas. Nothing wrong with that though. And then I have Vogue 1795. Feeling a little burned by Vogue, but that's okay. So this is a fitted dress. Has some sleeve variations. It also has a variation for the skirt. So you can have more of a fitted skirt, which I won't do. I will have the flare skirt and then you have tie in the front. It's like a faux wrap dress. Crosses over. So there's that. Don't have fabrics in mind for these yet, but I saw them. They're on sale for, what, it's $5.99. And then I got Simplicity at the $1.99 sale, 9 for $6.9. This is a blouse pattern, so chambray, lawn, rayon, silky type, soft cottons. It's got a few different options, well, a couple different options for sleeves. I like it. It's got a little tie here. The puffy sleeve, tie necks, been really in. T, again, from Crumpets Tea and Sewing, has a video where she made this and she talks about it. I'll link that below as well. Those are the patterns I got. And then, oh, I want to talk to you about these things, so check this out. What is this? So these are Shout Color Catch sheets that you put in your laundry. So they say that you can mix whites and colors and they won't bleed. I wouldn't do that even with these sheets, but what I use them for is when I wash fabric for the first time, so I could see how much it's bleeding and making sure I got the color out. Say get the color out. That you after you wash it, it stops bleeding eventually. So this is my first wash, and this is for this fabric. So most fabrics will bleed a little bit when they are new, but reds are really prone bleeding, and I pretty much wash reds on their own even though I don't have many reds, or I'll wash them with black, straight black. This was from the first wash, this is from the second wash, so you can see how much is going on, what's going on. So I like to use these whenever I wash new fabric. I'll link it below from Amazon, but you could probably get them at Target or a local store like that. I love these. So that's it for sewing, but I also wanted to share what I made in terms of baking, because I also like to bake. So I just made maple pecan. In your region, you might say pecan, whatever. Maple pecan scones. I really like to bake, as I just said. I like scones. So this recipe, and again, I'll link it below. The scones came out very fluffy. Sometimes scones, actually a lot of times they're more dense, but this is more fluffy, but then it has the pecan, so it's got the nice crunch, so it's a great mix of textures. And then it's not too sweet, but I made a maple glaze, which is sweet, and I didn't put a ton on, but it's just so good. So if you like maple scones, check out this recipe. I just thought I'd share it with you. I also have a baking Instagram. I'll call myself an amateur baker. I just follow recipes and see if I like them, but check it out. I'll link it below if you're interested. But I'll ask you, hey, do you have any recipes? I always have a sweet tooth, so if you have some great recipes and you want to share them with me, that would be awesome. But other than that, I think that's it for this week. I do have a couple of projects I'll be working on over the weekend, so next Friday I should have more to share with you. And I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you next Friday.